I want to give you what I believe the Spirit has revealed in this particular word for us today. Whenever you face trials, whenever you experience suffering, whenever you are struggling with pain and challenges, count it pure joy. Now, the key phrase is whenever, not if ever. It's not conditional in that manner. No, it is whenever you experience challenges, pains, trials. It is when it happens. And this is the simple lesson that one must understand in reference to the idea of suffering that James is speaking to every believer in this community. And do not miss this. Suffering is inevitable, but misery is a choice. Suffering is inevitable, but misery is a choice. We will all encounter suffering. There is a democratic character to suffering. Every human being will encounter the pain, the trials, the tribulations, the heartache brought on by living. It is a part of being human. How we will face what is inevitable is the question. It is the writer, the Zen monk, Thich Nhat Hanh. I hope I pronounced his name right and didn't butcher it too bad. He wrote a powerful book entitled No Mud, No Lotus, The Art of Transforming Suffering. He states that in the monastery where he studied, that they had a lotus pond. The pond was very shallow and filled with mud, but also filled with lotus flowers. Hanh shares, it is impossible for a lotus flower to grow, to blossom, to develop, to bloom without the mark and muck of the mud. The beauty of the flower is tied to the experience of the mud. Often in life, he states, we fail to appreciate the flower, but get stuck focusing on the mud, leading us to choose misery over the beauty of the Maker. When your eyes can only gaze at the mud, you lose sight of the flower before you. We've come through the muddy waters of 2020, but the flower, the blessings of God still grow around it. Yes, we've got mud on our hands, but there is still beauty around us and in us. Some will say, why? I simply say, here it is right here. If I may go old school, if I'm from the South, they would say it this way. If your heart is still beating, if your hands are still moving, if you are still able to take a breath, you have the opportunity to see the lotus in the mud.